Believe we are now live. Okay, the audio sounds fine. Gonna get this bad boy rocking and rolling in the Discord, and then we can begin. While we wait, I'll put up the playoff picture thing if anyone needs a refresher. So, yesterday's stream, we went through the AFC playoffs. The Jaguars beat the Bills, the Cougars beat the Diablos, and the Bengals beat the Chargers. So this means the AFC divisional round will be the Colts and the Cougars and the Jaguars and the Bengals. In the NFC bracket, which we'll be covering today, we're going to start with the Panthers and Snowhawks. Then we got the Thunderbirds and Bulldogs, and then we will finish it off with, in my opinion, the best out of all the wild card games, regardless of conference, the Caps and the Sentinels. What's good, Apple? What's good, Poggers? What's good, Jacks? Welcome in. Can't wait to get Cougar dominated. You already know it's going down. Ready for another? Have the Caps won a playoff game with you coaching? I don't think so. Well, I guess you'll try to make history today. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. Siri has selected 1, so that means we are using the Snowhawks. Okay, good. And I'm not trying to do that. So we can rock with their home jerseys, or we can rock with a pile of puke. That's pretty much the jersey selection for Portland. We're not going to waste much time. We're going to go with the home jerseys, because this just ain't it. Blue helmet, white jerseys, gray pants, and yellow socks. No, that ain't it. Only 4 X Factors on these teams: Aaron Donald, Patrick Mahomes, Budda Baker, and T.Y. Hilton. Panthers have a lot of superstars. The Snowhawks have some star power as well. Y'all ever heard of I have heard of that. Yes, I have. Already got 10 for the 803. Cool beans. Beep boop. Let's go Snowhawks so we can beat y'all again. Yeah, if you're the Cardinals, you're probably rooting for the Snowhawks in this game. Because if Portland wins, then they'll play Arizona. If Carolina wins, then they'll play the highest seed that wins the other games. The best team Arizona could possibly play would be Toronto if all of the higher seeds win. And then if a wild card wins, then Arizona's going to play a wild card, which could be Portland. I mean, Carolina's had their fair share of struggles in the past in watch games. So I think this one could be interesting. I think I picked Carolina to win, but I could see this one going either way. Portland barely sneaking in. 6 teams tied in the NFC with an 8-8 finish. But it was the Snowhawks who ended up getting the 7th seed when it was all said and done. So we'll see if they earned that spot, or if Carolina, who has not played in the playoffs since they lost the OFL Bowl to us, they're back. Carolina's made the playoffs twice in OFL 21. They made the bowl both times, going 1-1, but they did not make it last year. So they're back for vengeance. Arizona is rooting to play me because, maybe Arizona does want all the higher seeds to win, even though those are the 3 better teams, just so they can play Toronto again. Who knows about that one play? I know about that one play. Have multiple teams in the NFC West made the playoffs every year? Last year, yes, the Cardinals and the Rams. The year before, did San Francisco make it? You might be right. It's been close to every year. Oh, wow. Odell is hurt. That's quite a start. But it seems like every year, multiple teams in the NFC West do make the playoffs. Although the NFC West was not as competitive this year with the Snowhawks, being the Snowhawks and their late season collapses, the Rams took a step back, and the Niners have not been good at all the past couple of years. The Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert trade for them has been a disaster. And it's not even that Dak was that good for them. It's just that Justin Herbert just ain't it. 2nd and 2. Baker with a rocket deep downfield, and it is caught at the 16-yard line. Who needs Odell when you got... I have no idea who that is. I've got to be totally honest. T.Y. Hilton. Oh, I was wondering why there was an X Factor. I'm like, who would that X Factor be? But it's T.Y. Hilton, who I believe led Carolina in receiving yards this year. Best of it. I would say throughout all of OFL 21, I probably would give it to the NFC West. This year, I don't think the division was as competitive. I think you could argue the NFC North was better than the West. The only issue was there wasn't really a top-flight team there, whereas in the West, Arizona was arguably the best team in the entire league. 3rd and 8. Nice play by the defense. They'll rip it out of his hands. Carolina's going to have to settle for a field goal. I'm pretty sure when we checked like the all-time records at the end of last stream, I'm pretty sure Carolina has the most playoff wins so far in OFL 21, and with us losing, we won't be able to pass them because I'm pretty sure we were in 2nd. No one knows about that place? Oh, I know about that place. Yeah, totally. Totally. Here comes Patrick Mahomes and the Snowhawks offense. The Snowhawks have never played in a playoff game until today. And they've had a lot of, great starts to seasons, but they've never been able to make the playoffs. And to be honest, you could argue they didn't really deserve it this year. They just got lucky. Already got your plane tickets to Cancun set. Well, we have a bunch of seats saved for you guys. We are technically the host. And now that we're officially in Cancun, we're reserving a bunch of seats. So you guys are going to be fine. You're going to get your Cancun seats. If you want to enjoy the fun, just get out now in the wild card round. Patty McFraud now on a new team. What is Cancun? So Cancun is a place in Mexico. Pretty much like throughout the NBA playoffs, when a team loses, Cancun has been like a meme. Like when the Lakers lost, everyone was joking about how they're going to Cancun. I'm pretty sure it originated like last year during the bubble. Like Patrick Beverly or someone on the Clippers had like some Instagram comment that had to do with Cancun, and now it's kind of a meme. And we've kind of carried it over here to the OFL. So yeah, Cancun is a place in Mexico where all the losers go to vacation. Second and 9. There's a nice run. The Snowhawks do not have a good rushing attack. Really, their only hope in the ground game, unless Ronnie Newell surprises the world today, their only hope is if Patrick Mahomes has his usual 5 carries for 60 yards. And unlike last time we watched them a couple weeks ago against the Dolphins, actually holds on to the ball. Pretty sure he fumbled it at least twice in that game. Now, they won, obviously, but what's good, Pokemon? You really have not missed much. The Panthers, this is the first game, by the way, so you haven't missed anything too exciting. The Panthers drove down the field, scored a field goal. Now the Snowhawks have the ball, so you really have not missed anything too crazy. Is it a meme or is it true? Do all the players we lose in the playoffs hang out in Cancun? I control this world. I mean, I guess they do all go down there, yeah. So it's not really a meme, it's true. I have the power. I get to decide. The truth has finally been revealed indeed. I'm surprised Eric Ebron actually held on to the ball there. Normally he'd drop it. In that case, he won't be going to Cancun. Whoa! Apple normally isn't this confident in his team. This is a rare form of confidence. Interesting strategy. I mean, I think the Colts are the best team in the AFC, but we'll see. Mahomes was asking for a turnover there. They're lucky that they're going to get a field goal, but hey, they are on the board. So both teams drive down the field and score, and in the AFC wildcard round, we didn't see a ton of offense. So it's refreshing that this game starts out with a lot of offense. The AFC sucks. You're not wrong there, Chief. You're definitely not wrong. I saved the NFC for today because the NFC is better, and I think the games are better. Like, I think all three of these NFC games are genuinely pretty interesting. I think the only game I'm confident in is Toronto beating London, and that's not even because I'm confident in Toronto. That's just because I'm super low on London. I just don't think that the Bulldogs really have it in watch games. But other than that, I don't trust Toronto even, so that game isn't, like, totally set in stone. I don't trust Carolina in watch games, and you never know with the Snowhawks. And then Caps and Sentinels, as I said earlier, I think that's the best game in the wild card round. Thought the meme originated from Ted Cruz going there in the Texas. Well, I guess the Ted Cruz thing kind of helped, but I'm pretty sure it originated from Patrick Beverley in the bubble. I think. But I guess the whole Ted Cruz thing made Cancun, like, I don't know, more recognizable to people who don't follow basketball. Any NFC wildcard team could win the 2 seed in the AFC. I'm not going to disagree. I mean, the Bengals are definitely a weird 2 seed. I think they're a little bit better than people are giving them credit. And I don't think Cincinnati's going to make it to the OFL Bowl. But I think they could make a run. I think they could surprise Jacksonville. But, yes, I think there are definitely multiple teams in the NFC better than the Bengals. Don't trust your team in wildcard games. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them either, although we don't have a lot of experience watching the Sentinels. And with the year 2 ahead, you never really know. So, it should be interesting. T.Y. Hilton's been a machine today. If Tua, I'll say it, Tua's the second best quarterback in the league this year. He has your respect. I agree. I voted Tua second for MVP. I think, especially towards the end of the year, he really played well and almost essentially carried them into the playoffs. I don't know what to expect from Tua in a watch game, but in the sim, he was outstanding. Is there a way to remove quarterback draw from your playbook? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you don't need to overreact over one bad fumble, although that play was pretty bad. AFC wildcards suck. Okay, ratios suck. Dalton Risner for... I never said who I voted ahead of Tua. Maybe it was Dalton Risner. Funny thing is that Tua was bad the years before. Exactly, like Tua was not great. His numbers from Season 3 weren't terrible. But overall, Tua's been pretty underwhelming throughout OFL 21. So it was definitely a surprise to see him be one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year and a worthy MVP candidate. You could argue the year Carson Wentz won MVP, you could argue with Tua's numbers, he probably would have won that year. And it's not like Orlando's roster is that good. I mean, they have some weapons, but I don't think their roster is all that, although they did definitely improve a lot throughout the offseason. But I think Tua was certainly one of the biggest surprises. 3rd and goal, never stop. These offenses have both been good today. They just can't find the end zone. What do I think about Madden 22 franchise? From what I've seen, it looks really good. So I definitely have hope that it's going to be better. Fix your damn capture card and post Westlake. Well, I haven't had time, Chief. The reason why I haven't really been able to, like, focus on trying to do that the past, like, week is because I've had to record ahead because I have, like, a lot of trips within the next, like, month or so, which is also why I've streamed 4 times in, like, the past week. But when I have time, I will figure that out. Roughly, what will the date be when OFL 22 starts? So what I'm anticipating is the playoffs will end late next week. I think the OFL Bowl is going to be next Friday. And then the offseason is going to be long because I'm going to be out of town like 2 of the next 3 weeks after next week, and I won't be able to stream because the internet, those places, is really bad. So I don't think the Season 5 will start until like the middle of August. So I would say OFL 21 is probably going to start around the end of September, I think. But we're going to start like preparing for OFL 21 like early mid-August. So that's what I'm planning as of now. No, Octi voted for 1 for MVP, and I can safely tell you it's not Dalton Risner. Octi should do the Raptors. I'm not thinking about 2K22 teams until after the draft and after free agency. I've started to think a little bit about it. Like, just who would be some teams I would think about. But I'm not really going to narrow down my choices until afterwards. But the Raptors are on my short list. I'll say that. I think they might be a little bit too good, but they're on my short list. And they will have a fun rookie. Jalen Suggs is going to be a lot of fun. There, I said it. If Jalen Suggs is not on the Raptors, I would be astronomically shocked. That's going to be a face mask. I'm delaying the greatness of Jafredrick Hill. Well, I'm sorry about that. Ooh, it's a holding. I thought that was a face mask. Wow, and that would have been a first down. Now it's 3rd and 9. And they still get it. Everyone's calling dibs on Dublin. OKC, you can use Scotty Barnes. OKC's on my short list too because they're an interesting team and they have interesting players. SGA would be really fun to use. But I don't know how I feel about having 17 first-round picks. That might be a little bit too easy, but at the same time, it would also be a challenge to figure out how I use those picks. So OKC is also on my short list for now, but there are like 10 or 15 teams on my short list. So I'm really not sure how I'm going to narrow it down. But I'm not going to rule out OKC. I think they could be interesting. What's your likelihood of making the playoffs next year? I wouldn't say high, because I think a lot of teams are going to get better because they have a lot of cap space. But if Andy Morrison can repeat what he did, it's possible. If Sharif Cooper is 6'4", like they say, he's a generational prospect. I'm not ready to go that far, Chief. I mean, Sharif Cooper, in limited action, was very impressive last year, I've got to say. And I could see an argument for him being a lottery pick. I don't know if I would pick him in the lottery, but I'd see an argument. But I wouldn't call him generational. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Do the Cavs again. The Kings would be a really good one if I didn't do them a few years ago. They'd be a really good one. But I don't want to do them again. And it's a challenge because like all the teams I've done in the past for 2K are all good choices. Like the Cavs would be a good choice. The Hornets would be a solid choice. The Kings. Maybe not the Hawks. They're a little bit too good. But those other ones, they would all be good choices if I didn't already use them. Rebuild the Bucks, to be honest. Troll face. Rebuild the Falcons or unsub. I'm planning on doing like my final Madden poll within the next few days. I can tell you with confidence Atlanta is going to be on the phone. I can tell you that. Cooper is not better than Cunning Fraud. Whoever that is. I don't know any Cunning Frauds out there. Cooper came in at 6'1". I know Cooper was short to start the year, but I thought his combine measurements had him like taller than everyone thought he was. Pittsburgh, please. I've thought about Pittsburgh. I don't know if they'll be on the poll, but they would be an interesting one. We would certainly have to get a new quarterback, which is something I care about. I also care about getting young skill players, and the Steelers already kind of have a lot of those, which I guess it would be fun to develop them. Do the Bears with Fields. I don't hate the idea of using a rookie quarterback. Jeez, how many field goals are going to be in this game? As I was trying to say, I don't hate the idea of using a rookie quarterback, and I think of the 5 rookie quarterbacks, I think the most fun one, not only to play with, but to develop would easily be Justin Fields, in my opinion. And I don't hate the Bears. Like, I would never do the Packers because I hate the Packers. I don't hate the Bears to where I wouldn't do them. I feel like the Bears are going to be a popular team, though. That's my only thing against them. Other than that, Chicago would be a really interesting one. Do an expansion team. I don't know if you mean for 2K or Madden, but for 2K, I usually always consider expansion teams, and I probably will again this year. If only they had that in Madden. Cooper was 6 foot and a 4. Okay, that's probably where the 4 came from. Was that like his combine measurement, or was that his measurement before the year? I don't remember if he was like super tall or super small compared to what was expected at the combine, but I just know his measurements were surprising. I just forget what they were. Cunningham is mid, sadly. No. Also, you hate them, but the Eagles are probably going to be on the poll as well. I think they'd be a really interesting choice, too. I think the only issue I have with the Eagles is I feel like they're really similar to the Jaguars last year. Second-year quarterback. Got to see if he's the real deal. Not a great roster. Although the Eagles, I think, do have a few more, like, older pieces. I think they'd be a little bit more challenging than the Jaguars this year. So the Eagles will be on the poll, for sure. But they do have a lot of similarities to the Jags from last year. Also, the AFC South is not that good. The NFC East is also not that good. Look at T.Y. Hilton down the field. Will we have the first touchdown of the game? Not quite, but he brings it to the 5. T.Y. Hilton is still a machine. He is in the zone for good reason. In Carolina, we've had points on every drive today. That's and no touchdowns. Until now, because T.Y. Hilton is still unbelievably unstoppable. You said relocate the Bears to Chicago and become the Cougars. Ah, yes, we're moving the Bears to Chicago. 2K22, if you don't have an expansion team, you should have an expansion after. That's probably what I would do. If I've always wanted to do an expansion, and especially with like a lot of rumors that have come out within the past year or so about possibly expanding. That's probably something I would look to do. Falcons have a generational talent in Pitts, aging Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, subpar defense, second best kicker behind Justin Tucker. Yeah, I think Atlanta's a really good one. My only issue with Atlanta is like that they're too perfect of a choice. I think a lot of people are going to want to do them on YouTube, which isn't good. But Atlanta is really like the perfect choice. You don't know why you let him go? I mean, I don't blame you because a lot of your young receivers have done well. I don't think anyone would have expected T.Y. Hilton to be this good still. Madden doesn't even have Chicago. Madden still has Chicago teams to relocate. Did they take that out for 22? I mean, they obviously haven't in 21. Look at the Chicago Cougars, who, of course, just beat us. You can't replace Matty Ice. I mean, with his contract, it doesn't seem like that. But I would still want to replace him. Most likely, unless he, like, completely went off and didn't regress, then I'd have no reason to. But obviously, I always like drafting my own quarterback, and I would get that chance with the Falcons, and I wouldn't with the Bears. But Justin Fields would be a lot of fun to play with. I just think both the Falcons and the Bears are going to be super popular. And for good reason. Lober, how many times are you going to unsub? That's a good one. Another field goal here for the Snowhawks. So we've had 6 drives today. All 6 drives have seen points, yet it's only 13-9. What are the chances the next NCAA dynasty you will do will be with walk-ons? Probably not that high, because I've seen a lot of people, like, you know, try to do the hardest rebuild, have all the players, like, super bad. And I get that for the challenge. I see why they do that. But I would rather do something a little bit more realistic and have the team a little bit competitive early on. I'm not saying the team would be good. I mean, they would suck, obviously. But I wouldn't do, like, some full-on dynasty where everybody's a 50 overall and we lose 100-0 every game year 1. Because that wouldn't be fun and that wouldn't be realistic. When you've only uploaded 3 times, damn. Got him. If you buy Madden 22, you'll do the Bears. I mean, it's a good year to do it. If you're, it's a good year to use the Bears if you're a Bears fan. And like before the draft, like for years, I've always laughed at the Bears, although we're a laughing stock as well. I've always enjoyed having them in our division. So seeing them do something smart, I don't like this new age thinking from the Chicago Bears. I don't like it. Do the Texans and trade away Watson. I would consider the Texans, but I don't want 2 AFC South teams in a row. If I didn't just do the Jaguars, though, I would probably consider them. Relocate the Texans to Houston and become the Oilers. Again, I don't hate the idea of relocation, but I wouldn't do it with the Texans because I don't want the AFC South again. It's weird how we made a good choice. I know! It's so weird. Would have been funny if they picked Mac Jones, though. I would have very much enjoyed that. The Vikings are a good choice. They're certainly an interesting one. I mean, at quarterback, we would probably replace Kirk Cousins. And we would see what we have in Kellen Mond, who's interesting. Fun pieces on both sides of the ball. I think the Vikings would be an interesting one. Atlanta has the thick boy Mike Davis. I think Mike Davis is really good. I mean, not a lot of people are talking about him. I think he's going to put up numbers this year. I think he's going to be quite impressive because he was good last year when McCaffrey was out. How is Zach Pascal doing? You traded that fraud. Isn't he on the Chargers? I think. Usually Zach Pascal does really well in Madden franchise. I don't really know how he's doing in the OFL, so that's probably not a good thing for him. Kellen Mond is the truth. Kellen Mond has also never played an NFL game. So, nobody's the truth. Not even Penei Sewell yet. Although Penei Sewell will be the truth after the first play he steps on the field. When he absolutely mauls Nick Bosa to the ground, then we'll know he's the truth. Welcome to the club of, hey, our team has made good moves? What? I know. I'm joining the club for the first time, too, and it feels weird. Although I fought Patricia and company for doing good early on, and then I realized they weren't. If you do the Vikings and don't keep Mon as... Well, I wouldn't start Mon right away. If I did the Vikings, Kirk Cousins would be the starter year one. Unless he sucked and I were to bench him, or unless he got hurt. Which, I mean, I wouldn't hate the idea of using Mon. Like to trade quarterbacks after year one, but Andy Morrison's the guy. You can't trade him now. He's already done too much. Nick Bosa takes his ACL out. Well, that would be kind of sad.
Again, the ball carrier brought down at the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
You can never trade Smirnov. Never. When we do the long-term sim, if Smirnov is on another team other than Arizona, that'll just feel weird. Excuse me. Once we hired Rivera and let him get all the power, you joined that club. That's true. And I've always thought Washington was a train wreck. Now I think they're less of a train wreck, but still a little bit of a train wreck. Only because of Mr. Dan Snyder. The Snowhawks defense has done absolutely nothing today. I get they're not that good, but I mean, they've been good in the red zone, but Carolina has scored every possession. The Panthers have not made a ton of big plays, but they haven't needed to. Chet stayed on the Panthers during the sim. Well, there you go. If Chet does, then Smirnov certainly should. Lick and Lochte dissing each other, acting like they both never went 0-16. The only difference is the Lions are still balls. That's true. Oh, it's a fake! And it works perfectly! Who is the Panthers' backup quarterback? It's Ben Roseman! No way! Hey, there's the playoff touchdown that Ben Roseman needed to get last year. I totally forgot they had him. The Snowhawks were not ready for that fake at all. I love that call because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. Wow. Ben Roseman with the play of the playoffs so far. The Thunderbird legend himself. Out of the quarterbacks drafted in the first round, rank the ones who are most likely to become busts. In real life, I would probably put Trey Lance and Justin Fields at the top, and I do like both of them a lot, but it's because of their high ceilings, and they don't have the floor that Mac Jones has. I think Jones is way worse as a prospect than both of them, but I don't think Jones will become a full-on bust. Lawrence and Wilson could. I don't think either of them are bust-proof, especially considering, you know, Jacksonville and the Jets. They don't have the best track record, but I think they'll be fine. Patrick Mahomes versus Ben Roseman. I didn't even realize that. That's true. Patrick Mahomes facing off against Ben Roseman. That's funny. Zach Wilson just because he's on the Jets. And to be honest, the best reason to think Zach Wilson could be a bust is that he's on the Jets. And I like what the Jets have done. I think Joe Douglas is awesome. I think Robert Saleh is awesome. And I am a believer in the Jets, but they don't have a good track record. But I do think they have a great head coach, and I think they have a great GM. So I think they'll be fine. Jones is the next Andy Dalton. I could see that as a career trajectory, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because Andy Dalton's been, what, a top 15 to 20 quarterback for a decade? I mean, that's a fine career. And he's going to a better organization than Andy Dalton did. What a dot by Mahomes there. Was that third down, too? That might have been third down. Yeah, it was. That would have been a big deal if they didn't get that, because Carolina would be up by multiple possessions and they'd have the ball. Through 3 quarters, the Panthers are in control, but this one is not quite over. Imagine letting Ben Roseman score a rushing touchdown before your entire offense does. That's fact. Ben Roseman has more touchdowns today than Patrick Mahomes. Someone tell me who Ben Roseman is. So he was the backup for the Thunderbirds for a few years. And when Mahomes got injured at the end of last season, Ben Roseman started their playoff game, and he didn't do very well. And when Nick put the punter in, the punter did a little bit better. Bill also knows something about quarterbacks. He does. He doesn't really know how to develop anybody else on the offense, but he knows how to do quarterbacks. What's up with all these 20-9 scores? This is like the second one. Or wait, what was the final score of the Bengal-Charger game? We had 21-9 with the Jags and Bills. What was the final score of the Cincy game? I thought that was like 24-9. I might be wrong, but it was in that ballpark. It was 21-6. Okay. Close enough. So a lot of these scores have been very similar, which is odd. Traded for him and then cut him in Week 17 happened. Yeah, you pretty much threw away a second-round pick by trading for Ben Roseman and then just getting rid of him right after. They're going for a field goal on 4th and goal at the 2. I get that it makes it an 8-point game, but you're that close. You got to punch it in. I don't agree with that. Hee. What's good, Crockett? Welcome. Only think Mac Jones has potentials because of Bill Belichick. I mean, that's certainly fair. I think that system definitely helps, and New England does have a lot of weapons this year. Not that Bill Belichick is like some offense guru. I mean, he's definitely defense first, and he knows how to develop defensive players a little bit better. But New England is the perfect spot that Mac Jones could have gone to. And Cam Newton's a fine mentor. Boomy is good at developing well, no, but well, he kind of developed Morrison. Kind of. Other than that, yeah, I guess I see your point. Just split the 6. It's a 9 now. 69. Panthers just have to give the ball to J.K. Dobbins and get out of the way. That should be the game plan. J.K. Dobbins usually plays really well in watched games. J.K. Dobbins' career arc has been very odd in OFL 21. He sucked in watch games, and then he randomly became really good, and he's been really good since. I don't know why, but good for him. You'd rather have Dalton mentor you than Newton? I mean, Newton's certainly better. I think Newton has more to offer when it comes to, like, you know, teaching you stuff because he has more to his game. I think Cam Newton probably might be a little bit more salty about him not keeping the starting job. But I would probably prefer Cam Newton as a mentor. Jaquan Gore is, in fact, a person. Think Trey Lance has a chance to be a big bust. Still think he has raw talent and should have stayed another year in college. I mean, he was the 3rd overall pick, so he made the right decision by entering the league. But he is definitely the most raw of the group and probably shouldn't start for a while, which is good because he doesn't have to. But considering he went as high as he did, there was really no reason for him to stay in college. Because what else did he have to prove? I mean, he was a top 3 pick, so he can't really go much higher. Have an idea in OFL 22? What's that? I'm intrigued. Going to get the Rams and relocate them to St. Louis? Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the Rams didn't relocate here, so you are allowed to relocate them. Kind of like how we brought the Chargers back to San Diego. That'd be a great idea. The people who think Mac Jones was a better prospect than Justin Fields should pick up another sport because football is not for them. I agree. Not many people actually thought that, though. I know some did. But, yeah, that's definitely something that I would strongly disagree with. That's Nick's Ohio State bye. Well, that's also a fact. I mean, even if Justin Fields becomes a bust and Mac Jones doesn't, Justin Fields was always the better prospect. I don't know how one could think Mac Jones would be better. I wonder how a guy like Mac Jones would do in Madden Sim. Because I know Justin Fields is going to be a monster with the Bears playbook, because the Bears playbook is always really good for quarterbacks. But I wonder how Mac Jones would do. He said Bo Nix is better, sadly. Fields is your second favorite rookie quarterback behind Lawrence. I would almost argue Fields might be my favorite. Not that I think he's the best, but because I've sort of been like ride or die with him. Like, I agree with the consensus that Trevor Lawrence is great. I agree with the consensus that Zach Wilson's great. But I've had to defend Justin Fields for months, so I've kind of like built an emotional bond with him, and now I feel like I really like him, even though he's on a division rival. Carolina has in the red zone. They've done exactly what they need to do. Drive down the field and take time off the clock. Another first down for JK, and the Snowhawks are in big trouble. He said, get a room. You said your favorite, you meant best? Okay, because obviously, if I was a Bears fan, Justin Fields would easily be my favorite. Justin Fields would be the player in the entire league if I was a Bears fan, just because I'd actually have hope at the quarterback position for the first time, like, ever. Colin Sexton in high school stared down a guy who went to Ohio State and afterward basically immediately transferred to Arizona State as soon as Sexton joined the Cavs. I would imagine that's probably a coincidence that he transferred. I don't, like, why would you be so scared of Colin Sexton to where you have to transfer to the other side of the country? That doesn't make sense. I mean, that's probably just some random coincidence. Fields went from being in a one-on-one battle with that Trevor girl to being the most hated quarterback in the class on Twitter and somehow being picked behind an FCS quarterback and a one-hit wonder Wilson. Well, Joe Burrow was a one-hit wonder in college, and he looks like a great pro. So I don't think he can really use that against Wilson. I would have picked Justin Fields over Trey Lance. Not that I thought the Niners made a bad pick. Because I remember going into that draft when there was 3 quarterbacks for the Niners to pick from. My thinking was they're making a good pick if they don't pick Mac Jones. And they didn't, so they made a good pick. Patrick Mahomes is 19 for 20. That's kind of wild. He's been oddly efficient. And Aaron Donald is hurt. You know, that's a pretty big deal, because this Aaron Donald guy is kind of good. Okay, he's only on the sideline, so he's fine. Remember when Kyle Trask was a Heisman finalist. He was always in the race. Did he deserve it? Probably not, but he was always in the race. It's not like he was ever taken out. He's such a fraud. Yeah, I would not have picked him in the second round. I thought the Bucs made a mistake. I don't get how you can view him as your heir apparent to Tom Brady when Kyle Trask does not have upside. The only logical reason for them picking Trask is that they want a reliable backup, but Blaine Gabbert is honestly not that bad as a backup. I mean, I saw him torch our defense, albeit we weren't really trying, but at the end of the year, when the Bucs were up by like 30 and they put Blaine Gabbert in, he was kind of good. Mahomes still has only thrown 1 incompletion. Went from Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Fields for the top quarterback spot to Justin Fields as number 4. Yeah, Justin Fields never really deserved to drop. The only thing with Zach Wilson was just that good to where he jumped up. But Justin Fields' stock never really dropped for me throughout the year. The only problem is Zach Wilson was so good to where he passed him. So it wasn't really Justin Fields' fault that he dropped. I know he had some bad games, but he didn't really drop for me. Torching the Lions defense is not an achievement. I'm not going to disagree with you there because you're right. But Blaine Gabbert is better than Kyle Trask right now. Mahomes waltzes into the end zone, so the Panthers need an onside kick and another score within 14 seconds. Wyoming's unis are fired. They're so slept on. I mean, I guess they're fine. Bears drafted a first-round offensive lineman. I think the reason why he fell was because of, like, some health issue. He's shown to really fallen that far. And he was a guy who, Tevin Jenkins, who I thought made sense for the Bears with their original first-round pick before they traded up. So, yeah. The Bears had a really... And the Bears did well in day 3. I gave them an A+. And I only give 1 A+ a year, and I gave it to the Bears for good reason. Wilson isn't going to be good. It's impossibly good on the Jets. Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. The Jets have a better future than people think. This is the ball game. The Snowhawks need an onside kick and a Hail Mary. Why do these onside kicks suck? Remember in the AFC wildcard round when we went for an onside kick against the Cougars and it was really bad? That one was really bad too. These onside kicks, they're not even trying. So Carolina Panthers will get the win. Portland made it tough, but the Panthers hold on 19-27. So Carolina will play against the highest seed who wins. That could be the Caps if they beat Orlando. If Orlando wins, then it'll be the winner of the other game. People look at his games against Indiana and Northwestern and call it a day. Exactly. Like, you have to realize that if you're going to talk about those, you got to talk about the Clemson game, which was the most important game of his career, in which he was banged up, and he still dominated. You have to thank that scout who said Montez Sweat has a heart issue. Yeah, you guys definitely lucked out there. Both quarterbacks were pretty good. Mahomes threw 96% and still lost. Kind of wild. J.K. Dobbins was really good. Mahomes only had 30 rushing yards. That's low for him. Eric Ebron, Madden's not realistic. You know Madden's not realistic with the 0 drops. Whatever. T.Y. Hilton was unbelievable. How many passing yards did Baker have? He had 231. 170 of which went to T.Y. Hilton. Odell did not get a target. I know he got hurt early in the game, but he returned. How does the playoff bracket work? So pretty much the highest seed left plays the lowest seed left. So Arizona won't play Carolina in the second round because Carolina is the 2 seed. So out of the teams who win today, Arizona plays the lowest seed. So, like, for example, if Portland would have won, Arizona would have played Portland because they would have been the lowest seed. So the earliest the Panthers can play the Cardinals is the AFC Championship. So pretty much, like, if the Caps win, they would play Carolina, and the winner of this game would play Arizona because they are the lower seed. But if Orlando wins, they would play the Cardinals because they're the lowest seed left. Pretty much. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. Siri is selected 2, so we will use her Toronto, so Nick can pick his jerseys. Although, I mean, again, the relocations teams don't have any cool jersey combos. Yeah, Arizona will play one of Toronto, London, or Orlando. All red? Okie dokie. So if the Caps win, Arizona would play the winner of this game. If the Senators win, Arizona plays the Senators. And then the winner of this game would play Carolina. Again, only 4 X Factors in this game. We got Kenny Clark, Ezekiel Elliott, Reggie Peters, and Norris Torres, who's now like an 80 overall, I think, after upgrades. A lot of superstars on both sides. Got to watch out for Deshaun Watson, Mr. Inconsistent. Have they ever actually been to a Ducks game? No, I live on the other side of the country. I've never been close to a Ducks game, unfortunately, although that would be cool. Wondering if Coastal, BYU, and Liberty are one-hit wonders. Guess we could add Louisiana, Lafayette in there. Yeah, Louisiana Lafayette was really good last year. What's your overall after upgrades? I think like an 89-ish? I haven't done the upgrades for non-playoff teams yet, so I haven't done yours because, you know, you guys weren't in the playoffs. But I'm pretty sure you'll be around an 89. Locked. It's not my fault they live on the other side of the country. I mean, I guess Columbus is pretty close, but I can't just, like, you know, say, hey, I want to go to Columbus in 2 months. It's not that easy. Are you at 99 yet? Yeah, I think you are. Because you had 4 skill points, so I'm pretty sure you're 99. Auburn, Daddy's Oregon. I mean, I'm not going to disagree. Oh, it's snowing again! So that's like a guarantee that Toronto wins, right? And it's night. That's sick. The night plus the snow. That's like sick. That's like the best view of a football game. It's dark out and it's snowing. That's the best. Toronto will start on offense, so we'll get to look at Norris Doris, the 4th-round pick out of the Poverty University of Washington. Coming off a strong rookie season. Some seasons he would win Rookie of the Year, but with Andy Morrison putting the Ravens on his back, that might not happen. Snow means you're going to win, indeed. Wasn't the Alexei Smirnoff Hail Mary in the snow, though? So the only way you'll lose would be off a Hail Mary. Which, speaking of, do you guys remember that time Alexei Smirnoff threw a Hail Mary against the Thunderbirds? Good times. Has there ever been a day snow game? Yeah, the Bills snow game in the first round was also at night. I mean, I guess you'll see some day snow games, but the 2 games in the snow this playoffs have both been at night. Which is kind of odd. I remembered good. I was just checking. Everybody remembered, particularly Nick, who has not won a playoff game since that Hail Mary. Because last year they were 1 and done with the quarterback injury. 1st and 10. That should have been intercepted. Pound the rock with Aaron Jones. That's what I would try to do too. Aaron Jones was one of the main reasons why this team won 6 in a row towards the end of the season. That was also a bad pass. Norris Doris is not looking very good. The reason why I'm a little bit concerned about Toronto is that on their long win streak, they won all of those games in sim. So I don't know how to feel about them and watched. The only reason why I'm confident in them today is that I just don't trust the Bulldogs whatsoever.
Complete to Evan Ingram. A 4-yard gain. It's 4th down.
Remember when EA decided to cheat you out of the playoffs? Well, I mean, you not making it in the AFC is kind of embarrassing because the AFC sucks. So, that's your own fault. Here is Deshaun Watson. Was pretty efficient this year, only threw 6 interceptions. But last week against the Caps, the Bulldogs did not look good at all against a team they always beat. And that game was important. Had they won that game, they'd be playing Orlando at home.
Ezekiel Elliott on the carry. Darren Lee on the tackle. It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 19-yard line.
2nd and 11. Watson kind of heaves it up, incomplete. That was dangerous. I thought his throw was like inbounds, and when I saw the defender, I thought he could have got that interception. They're down in lawn. Watson under pressure. Oh my, he actually completed that. I mean, they lost 7, so it didn't do them any good, but I'm surprised he completed that pass. Scoota's still not getting Lamar running backs, because quarterbacks don't run in this game, which is dumb. But quarterbacks don't run in sim, and in watched, they run too much. If your name is Patrick Mahomes. Why did he choose not to return that kick? Who is the punt returner, and why is he an idiot? Is that Nicole Hardman, probably? They backed the Bulldogs up at the 12 and could have started, I don't know, like the 30. That's pretty good field position. Cobra, it's the OFL. You're not going to win the read option offense. Yeah, Madden Sim does not like running quarterbacks because they don't run.
Taken down at the 19-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
These offenses do not look good at all. And this is coming off a game where both the Snowhawks and Panthers offenses looked impressive.
A loss of 2.
I mean, Portland couldn't score a touchdown really to save their lives, but their offense still was pretty good. They at least moved it down the field. Doris off his back foot. Ooh, that was a good throw. Wasn't able to complete it, but that was a good throw.
Incomplete. Sets up 4th down.
But you didn't make the playoffs with it. That is true.
They'll take
You won 1 game. Oh, God, not this again.
at their own 34-yard line.
London with it back. There's a nice play. Was that Morphus McCollum? The rookie? 2 tackles for loss already for McCollum. He's salty I did not give him a Defensive Rookie of the Year vote. He's clearly salty. You're not even in Cancun. You're in Shanghai, dang. That's a good one. Is that the first down of the game? We're 5 minutes in, and we've had literally no resemblance of offense. Not Portland. Toronto might have had one on that first drive, maybe. Maybe. But it's been tough sledding on offense. Tough sledding, get it, with the snow. That was not... I was not trying to make that pun, but it worked. He said, you're trying out for a K-pop group. Jeez. Ezekiel Elliott has like -8 yards from scrimmage today. So Zeke has not been much of a factor, although Deshaun Watson is starting to throw the ball a little bit better. Back to Zeke. Wow, positive yards. He only gained 4, but hey, progress, baby steps. I do know them. Yes, Pog, I do. Totally. London brings it to the 6. They're getting awfully close. I love coaching UE. How would I say that? Or just let them catch the ball, you know? Just don't even try. You're eliminated from the playoffs. I knew it was going to be something. I wasn't expecting that specifically. I mean, you're not wrong. Hey, Cobra, do you know who Yuri is? Worth a shot. He said, you're canceled. First quarter in the books, no points yet. But the London Bulldogs appear to be changing that pretty soon. 3rd and goal. Connects. He is not in. Nice tackle. They're not going to go for it. They should, but they're not. Nice tackle by Marlon Humphrey, the former Diablo and former Raven, but we don't care about that. Oh, they are going for it. Madden usually is never this gutsy this early in the game. I respect it. I like this call. And they got it. Touchdown, London, and the Bulldogs will start on top. I was not expecting them to go for it at all. That coverage on that drive was not pretty.
The kick is good. Makes the score Bulldogs 7.
Deshaun Watson went 6 for 6 on that possession. Luju blew the game. Plus, you didn't have to leave Cancun when you were already in it. I mean, you're not incorrect. This secondary gives you depression. I don't even have a horse in this race, and watching your secondary has given me depression because this has been... That drive was abysmal. Every play, whenever they made a catch, it's not even like the receiver made a nice play to get the corner away from him. They were just wide open the entire time.
Aaron Jones on the carry. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 24-yard line.
2nd and 10. Norris Doris trying to get into a groove. Nice throw. Nice grab. Past the 50. Was that Gallup? Connor McGovern is hurt, for what it's worth. It was Gallup. Okay. It would be easier to tell who they were if, you know, snow wasn't on the ground. But snow makes it cooler, so it's worth it. When I choose a defensive scheme that literally stops spreads. The only spread your defense stopped this year was a nosebleed, and that's about it. The spread of the bleeding. I tried to make a joke there, and it didn't turn out very good.
First and 10 at the 36-yard
There's some blocking for Aaron Jones. Shrugs the tackle. Breaks another one. What a run by Aaron Jones. A 36-yard touchdown. And the Toronto Thunderbirds answer back. That's what happens when you block for Aaron Jones. Usually good things happen because Aaron Jones is good at football. Whoa is right. The only spread your defense stopped was the playoffs. Aaron Jones, the best running back in the OFL. I don't even know if he's the best running back in the stadium, to be honest. He's been the best one today because Zeke has not done anything. But who did I vote for Offensive Player of the Year again? I know I voted McCaffrey first, and I did Renfro second. But who did I did third? Because Aaron Jones and Zeke were both in the running there. Here, let me find my votes, because I can do it by ballot. Okay, there we go. I did Renfro second. I did Zeke third. There you go. I don't think Aaron Jones is the best running back in the stadium. Although he's been better today. I never said Zeke was good today. He's been terrible today. IT, you went like 1-8 as a starter. Well, I mean, if you're gonna roast him, you got to get it right. He was actually 1-11. Excuse me. Was it 1-11? I think so. Yep, 1-11. Claiborne is hurt for London. I guess he's one of the offensive linemen, it looks like. Is that Chris Claiborne, I think his name is? He's on the sideline, so he's fine. 3rd and 4 now. Deshaun Watson under pressure. There's a flag. That was a little bit of a late flag. It could be a roughing the passer. Yup. So an additional 15 yards for London against Reggie Peters, the Defensive Player of the Year candidate. A rare bad play from him. The Bulldogs should just throw the ball every play because they can't run it at all. But Toronto's pass defense has not done anything. Third and 1. It is a pass. Watson deep for the end zone. Tipped. Should have been intercepted. If they go for it again, wow. I don't think I would have gone for it there. They are gutsy. It's a playoff game. I respect that. And they got it. I respect these play calls. Because there have been too many times this season where teams should go for it and they don't. I wouldn't have gone for it there. But hey, it worked. I think the fullback probably has more rushing yards than Zeke, just based on that one play.
Watson's pass complete to number 45. 10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches. At the
Back to Zeke. He brings it to the 4. London is marching on the doorstep.
Ezekiel Elliott. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott,
The only problem is the Bulldogs can't run the ball to save their lives. This is the same rushing attack that saw Zeke run for how many yards? Let me check the poll after I see this play. I don't want to miss a touchdown. What a throw! London is back on top. Okay, what were Zeke's numbers? 1,348 yards, 13 touchdowns. Yet he can't do anything today. But that does not matter because Deshaun Watson and the passing offense have been unbelievably good so far. Thunderbirds suck at coverage so far today. Yeah, I would agree with that.
his kick is good. Makes the score Bulldogs 14, Thunderbirds 7.
Oh, God, they're going to dab. London's going to lose by 30 now after that, aren't they?
Set to kick off.
Thunderbirds need to get some points here. London starts the second half on offense, which is a big deal. Everyone on the secondary is getting purged. Well, there's going to be some good options in free agency, as will there for literally every other position. The Thunderbirds are balls and watch, not going to lie. I mean, this year they weren't very good and watched. I did not mean to press circle. No, what did I just click? I think it doesn't matter. Whatever. Doris with the fake handoff. Norris Doris has not shown as a whole lot today. 4 for 8, 48 yards. He's not been very impressive. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't really been good. And he's trying to throw checkdowns, and not even they are working. 3rd and 10 now. They're probably just going to run the ball. It actually doesn't really look like it. We'll see if they do, though. It is a run with Aaron Jones, and he goes backwards. In your most important drive yet, you take about 10 seconds off the clock and gain -1 yards. Oh, we're going to get a what a punt, though? Oh, what a punt from Keaton. Down at the 7, so the Bulldogs have some work to do. Katz is better at throwing interceptions. I mean, you could argue that you'd prefer Katie Katz in a watch game because he's a little bit more aggressive, but he also does throw a lot more picks. They should give an award for that play calling. Loris, what a guy. 2nd and 10. Watson does connect. They're out of safety zone to the 21. I was not expecting this at all from the Bulldog passing game. I am very impressed. I thought that was going to be a fumble animation for a second. London only has 1 timeout. They've got to move quick. If the Bulldogs can be up by 2 scores at halftime and starting with the ball, that'd be a very big deal.
Intended for number 45. Incomplete. It leads to 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, another pass. It seems like they've abandoned the run. And to be honest, normally I would not agree with that, but based on how today has gone, I don't blame them. 3rd and 10. Watson's throwing incompletions on back-to-back plays. What does he have up his sleeve here? Another incompletion. All 3 of those plays were not incompletions because of the coverage. It's because Deshaun Watson missed those throws. So the coverage continues to be shaky, but Deshaun Watson also missed 3 straight passes. Nick is like a high schooler and is acting like if he loses, he gets shot and left out to bleed or something. Okay. Oh, what a punt! Down at the 2, and with 11 seconds, I don't think Toronto's going to have really time to do anything. Yeah, that'll do it for the first half. Not a great start here for the Toronto Thunderbirds. They're only down by 7, but Deshaun Watson has looked really impressive for the London Bulldogs, who do start the second half on offense. Yeah, why is Mecole Hardman not even trying on punt returns? I don't get it. He got shot by me clowning him. Yeah, I think that scoreboard is a perfect representation of the game. The Bulldogs' passing game's really good, and they can't run. And Toronto's offense has just been bleh. We don't need to see highlights. We watched literally all of these plays. I don't trust Toronto's defense to get a stop at the moment. Their pass rush needs to get hot. We need to see why Reggie Peters was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and we need to see Kenny Clark use his X factor. Otherwise, this game could get ugly for the Thunderbirds quickly. Imagine losing to the Bulldogs and watch. Don't act like that hasn't happened to you in the playoffs. But losing to the Bulldogs and watched in Season 4, yeah, that's... He says, I'm banning you, Cobra. Very rare Wobra. Ultra rare. That was actually good coverage. Still was caught, but... Maybe Toronto's coverage is adjusted. Second and 9. Okay, now there's the bad coverage again. I have to get out there on the field and defend for us. I literally play better corner than all of these guys. Put me out there, coach. Give me the pads. Give me the helmet. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll. Put me on that corner. Hey, that's like Zeke's first good run of the game. Octi is like, actually, I'm 5'8", excuse me. So yeah, that's a big difference. I'm covering all these guys. They should allow us to put 14 people on the field, and you still wouldn't be able to cover them. Okay, that actually was not terrible coverage. That wasn't great, but usually on those out routes, the receiver has like 10 yards of separation. Because Madden corners are dumb. He can maybe be a point guard, but there's no way he can guard Zeke. Well, I don't need to guard Zeke because he's been shut down. Maybe you should put me at defensive end because the pass rusher's done nothing today. Right as I say that, it's a strip sack and it's picked up by Toronto. Did I just say the pass rush has done nothing today? There you go. I think that was Kenny Clark who got the sack. Was the ball out, though? I don't know. Still a good play. Yeah, he's down. That's not a fumble. That's definitely going to be reversed. That's still a good sack. That's still a good play for the Thunderbirds, but if that was actually a fumble, that would have been huge. Yeah, there's no way that play stands. None. Look, knees down. Then the ball comes out. That play is definitely going to be reversed. Whenever there's a fumble, kids, do not get your hopes up because literally half the time it's always reversed. Bulldogs with a new opportunity. It's 3rd and 7. Watson scrambling. And, yeah, that was bad pass rush again. Another touchdown for Deshaun Watson of the Bulldogs. He's up to 3 today. That wasn't even awful coverage. That was just the pass rush not even trying. So now it is 21-7. Toronto's not out of this game, but they're not looking particularly good.
Makes the score Bulldogs 21, Thunderbirds 7. Bradley Pinion set to kick off.
I mean, we've been talking about how the defense has been bad, but Norris Doris has shown me nothing today. There's still time, but he has not really shown any reason to suggest that he's ready for this moment in the playoffs. And that's why. Why are these coverages so bad? I have no idea. They were a little bit better on that drive, but the lack of pass rush still gave Watson enough time to do something. 2nd and 10, another missed pass by Norris Doris, who has continued to struggle today. The quarterback play has been polar opposites here on both sides. But on 3rd down, he does make a nice throw over to Mecole Hardman. 2K22 will disrespect current gen users so hard and you're ready for your pain. Yeah, they will. Doesn't hurt me, haha. Need to upgrade cornerback bad. I would agree, but Toronto on paper has good corners, so there's really no reason why that they're struggling this bad. 3rd and 4 now. They're getting close to 4-down territory. If this is like an incompletion, I think we're at the stage of the game where you'd have to think about going for it. I think they will punt it, but I think that's a mistake. And another score on this drive for the Bulldogs could ice the game. The Bulldogs clearly made me bite my dust. I was not expecting this performance from them at all. Kyle Duggar laughs at this fraudulent defensive back room. I'm sure he is. 2nd and 8. That should have been intercepted. Deshaun Watson's had a few bad throws today. Now, he's obviously still been ridiculously good in this game, but he has had a few shaky throws. Now it's 3rd down, incomplete, so Toronto's defense actually gets a stop. We have waved the white flag. I wouldn't go that far yet. It's only a 14-point game. But I also wouldn't be confident. Hey, Nicole Hardman's actually going to try to return the punt. Instead of starting at the 10, he's starting at the 23. Kids, if you're a punt returner, return the punt. Toronto gets it back. Aaron Jones gets nothing. Other than that one run, Aaron Jones has not been all that great today. Now, that one run was sick, but he's not done a whole lot. That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7. 3rd down and 7. That was a tough pass. Not great coverage, but they do get it. He says, oh, now you try to pound the rock. Now you do.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
There's still 8.5 minutes. There's still plenty of time. I wouldn't hit the panic button yet. If the Thunderbirds don't score on this drive, then I would probably not only hit the panic button, I would probably smash it. He was inbounds? What? Okay, then. 2nd and 10, final play of the quarter, and they don't get it off in time. The Bulldogs appear to be in control. They lead 21-7. Can London pull off the upset? This would be the first, like, shocking upset. I don't think the Cougars beating us is considered shocking. First and 10. I thought that was intercepted. It's kind of hard to tell with the white jerseys and, you know, the white ground. That looked like it was picked off, though. Oh, look, it's Evan Ingram. Forgot we had. Yeah, he's done nothing today. And he's usually great in watch games. 2nd and 10. Doris with the no-look pass! And it's going to go for a Nicole Hardman touchdown. He literally didn't even look. Hold on. I got to see that play again. He didn't even look. So Doris is going to miss routine throws, and then he's just going to do that. Oh, maybe he was looking. In real time, it looked like he was looking like the other way. Yeah, no, he was looking towards the sideline, and he threw it down the field. So that was a no-look pass. Toronto is not out of it yet. Keyword is yet. The offense does something productive. What?
Thunderbirds 14.
So it appears the Thunderbirds will make it a game.
They'll take over first down and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The only issue for Toronto is, do you trust their defense? And based on how Deshaun Watson has played, I would not answer yes to that question. They did get a stop on the last drive, but they cannot allow any points here or else they are in a lot of trouble. And vice versa can be said for the Bulldogs. If they can get some points, they should have this game pretty much won.
Number 4, Deshaun Watson on the keeper. Taken down at the 40.
Calling it a touchdown for the Bulldogs. I wouldn't be surprised.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9 up the middle. They are now quickly in field goal range. Toronto needs to get a turnover.
A 28-yard gain. First down, Bulldogs.
Hand off for Zeke. Breaks a tackle from Reggie Peters. Breaks another tackle. Zeke inside the 20. And London is moving the ball down the field very quickly.
At the 17-yard line. A gain of 14.
Hey, Zeke had a good run. Would you look at that? Now inside the 10. That's going to be a first down, I think. Yeah, they now have a goal line.
First and goal at the 7-yard line.
Zeke gets about 3.
The handoff to Ezekiel Elliott. He was brought down at the 4-yard
The
line.
Bulldogs should just try to chew away at this clock as much as they can. 2nd and goal. Another touchdown. Watson up to 4 on the day.
Complete to number 81.
And Toronto's going to need pretty much a miracle. They have time. Well, they don't have much time.
For the extra
But
point.
I suppose London could have taken more time off there. But they're not in a good spot.
The kick is good. Makes the score Bulldogs 28, Thunderbirds 14. Bradley Pinion set to kick off.
O.J. Howard, is that O.J.? I don't think that's O.J. Howard. I think O.J. Howard's on a different team. But Howard, with 3 touchdowns, he is pretty good. But I don't think that's O.J. Where is O.J.? I don't even remember who he plays for, but I don't think it's London.
At their own 30.
Fantastic coverage, everyone. You did it. Thunderbirds know they have to start moving real quick.
First and 10.
3.5 to go, down by 14. And they're not with plays like that. And Tyron Smith is now injured. Didn't show as a cutscene, so that's probably good news for him, maybe. Another bad pass from Doris,
Intended for C.D. Lamb.
who's barely thrown over 50% today.
Up third down.
And now it's 3rd and 10. So glad we were prepared to stop the London offense. Oh, you were definitely prepared. Doris with a bomb for the end zone, and it's a dropped interception. Probably should have been picked off. So now 4th and 10. They have to go for it. This is pretty much the ball game.
Results in a fourth down.
If they don't get it, I don't see any way they can win this one. Doris, tough throw. What a catch! And the season stays alive a little bit longer. C.D. Lamb somehow held on to that.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Doris now going to take another shot for the end zone. And again, another dropped interception. Bulldogs are, in fact, winning. Yeah, they should have this one, I don't want to say fully wrapped up, but
Brings up 2nd and 10.
they're looking quite good. They're definitely in the driver's seat.
a gain of 6. Makes it 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, incomplete again. They've got to go for it. They converted last time. Deshaun Watson flexing on the sidelines. He looks like he already thinks this game's over.
It's 4th down.
And if they don't convert here, then, yeah, he's kind of right. 4th and 4. The pass is incomplete. And it looks like London might have just won this game. What a weird season for... This is like a copy and paste of last year for Toronto. They start the year off really bad. Then they do really good and sneak into the playoffs. And then they lose their first playoff game. Now, last year, it was mainly because of a quarterback injury. This year, it was because of poor quarterback play. Please, Sim, it's a 14-point game. If there's a situation where, like, Toronto's out of timeouts or something, and London has the ball, then we will Sim. I mean, it's not like Zeke has done anything on the ground today. So if there's one thing I wouldn't think this Bulldog offense would do, it would be chewing the clock. Zeke goes backwards there. So now this play is pretty much officially, officially the ball game. And Zeke loses about 3. Now, Toronto still needs a touchdown, an onside kick, and then another touchdown, which is a lot easier said than done. You really think we're going to stop, then a touchdown, then an onside kick? Well, we got the stop. Do I think all those things are going to happen? No. No, I don't. But it is, by definition, a 2-score game. Oh, my goodness. What a punt. Oh, that was only a touchback. I thought he downed that at the 1. That wouldn't have even just been at the 1. That would have been like at the 1 inch. So a lucky break there for Toronto. And they have 98 seconds. And that's not an ideal start to the drive. Leighton Vander Esch with a quick sack. He said, Hardman, you're cut. I'll take him if you don't want him.
Complete to Evan Ingram.
10 rushes, 30 passes. That's not smart, especially considering the pass offense has not been overly impressive. Doris just going to try to heave up a cannon. That was in his hands for like a good 3 seconds. That almost looked like it was a fumble that was in his possession so long. Are you going to play the Bulldogs? If the Caps win against the Senators, then you guys will play the Bulldogs, assuming they hold on here, which they will. That is incomplete. That should have been a defensive pass interference. Not that it really matters at this point. That probably should have been a flag. So I guess we can start simming now.
Turnover on downs.
So the London Bulldogs shock the world. They upset the Toronto Thunderbirds 28-14. So London will travel to either Carolina or Arizona, depending on what happens. He says, welcome, Nick, to Cancun. Hey, Mexico's fun. Mexico's a fun place. Blow it up. I mean, everybody has a lot of players not under contract, so there's certainly an opportunity to blow it up. Deshaun Watson was unbelievably impressive in this game. Norris Doris, on the other hand, was kind of disappointing. Blow the team up. Well, no, you do still have a good opportunity to blow it up, because if you let a lot of guys walk, you'll have a lot of money to spend and in a stacked free agency class. So, Alex Howard had 3 touchdowns. Not orange juice. All right, on to the final game of the day, the Caps and the Sentinels. A whole number between 1 and 2. Sirius selected 1, so we will use our Orlando. Yes, we don't have to wear their ugly away jerseys. Their away jerseys are almost as bad as Portland's, and you all know I think Portland's are, not good. Yeah, Nick's been on the Madden hate list since like OFL 19 when we started. I really thought the Thunderbirds were going to do something. This would be the year they went 9-7, but no, Madden really dislikes Nick. All right, this isn't really much of a decision. These are awful. So we are wearing the home jerseys. I can white tops, black pants. No, just no. A lot of talent here on both teams. 3 X-Factor receivers at the top. Stephon Diggs, Michael Thomas, and Tyrone Gordon. Darren Quickly is X-Factor since when? A lot of superstars as well. No Tua Tagovailoa on that list, though, although he probably will go up in depth after this year because he was pretty good. A league high, I believe, 39 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure he led the league. I think. Can the Columbus Caps win their first playoff game of OFL 21? Or can the Orlando Sentinels shock the world in their first playoff game throughout all of OFL 21? Even I thought we could have won this game. Jeez. I mean, if Nick has confidence, then yeah, you got no excuse for losing. But I am genuinely surprised by that result. I was not expecting Deshaun Watson to go off. But I guess it took him 4 seasons to finally realize that he's a 95 overall quarterback. Sentinels start on offense. We get a good look at Tua Tagovailoa, the MVP candidate. We did not watch a full Sentinels game this year. We only watched like the final 2 minutes of Week 17. So I'm excited to see what Tua has up his sleeve. 39 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. Hey kids, that's pretty good. Tua with a quick rocket for 21 yards. I believe that's Hunter Henry, I think. Yep. There's no shortage of weapons on this offense, but Tua Tagovailoa deserves all the credit in the world for turning himself into a bad quarterback into a good one. Nice move by DeAndre Swift for the first down. I think that's Swift again. I mean, we can probably, even though we don't have, like, you know, an easy way to tell if it's Swift or Fournette in the backfield, Swift ain't the biggest guy. And Fournette, I mean, he's, I mean, we know him as fatty around here, so it'll be pretty easy to tell who's in. Third and 8. Tua is going to be sacked by the Defensive Player of the Year candidate, T.J. Watt, and that'll force a punt. Big stop for Columbus, and now we get to see their offense led by quarterback Carson Wentz, who I think he knows his job is on the line, even though it might be a little too late. I guess it's still worth a shot. Numbers on the year were not very impressive. He did throw for a decent amount of yards, but only 21 touchdowns to 9 picks. What a shank. Yeah, they're starting at the 33, and Orlando punted it at, like, close to midfield. So, kids, that is a shank. Tough throw for Stephon Diggs. If they can get Diggs involved early and run the ball well, I think the Caps offense could have a really strong day. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Malcolm Tremblay. Malcolm Tremblay had like 11 touchdowns this year. He was kind of good. And obviously, they had that Todd guy as well. Just took a 3-minute nap. Well, congratulations for successfully napping for a solid 3 minutes. Todd Gurley breaking tackles. Does he think this is Dallas? Boy, he's breaking tackles. He thinks he's playing Dallas. Nifty move by Malcolm Tremblay, and so far the Caps are looking quite good up to this point. Guys, Ben Simmons just got traded. Like, actually? Did he really? I don't see a notification from Woj. That's a nice move for Golden State if they did it, but I don't see anything. Nah, I'm kidding. Okay, good. Because Twitter says you're joking. I was going to say, that'd be a nice pickup for them, though. I mean, Golden State has the lottery picks to do it. Imagine Malcolm Tremblay, who's like 5'6", broke all those tackles for a touchdown. Woj would have announced it 2 days before it actually happened. True that. I could see, I think Ben Simmons, there's a good shot he does get traded, but I don't think it would happen this early. So that would be a surprise. Hey guys, Dame just got traded to Cleveland. Colin Sexton for Damian Lillard. What a trade. Third and goal, they get stopped. A big play by the Orlando defense to force a field goal. But through one quarter, I would not say I'm very impressed with the Sentinels. They have not looked all that good so far. They're only down 3-0, so they still have plenty of time to right their wrongs as Enzo drills a kick. Guys, the Pistons just traded Jahlil Okafor to the Lakers for LeBron James. Here's a nice pass for one of the X Factor receivers. I don't know which one. It is Michael Thomas, slant boy.
Michael Thomas, a gain of 19 yards. First down, Sentinels.
Hockey, that's not even funny. I think it's true. LeBron just said he's returning to Cleveland. He announced at the end of the Space Jam movie that he wants to come back to Cleveland. Ben Simmons got traded to the Hawks. Why would the Hawks want him? They literally saw firsthand all those bricks. Third and 5. Can Tua show off that Tua magic? Yes, he does. They bring it to the 29, and now the Sentinels are starting to figure things out a little bit.
Complete to Michael Thomas. It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Orlando. DeAndre Swift, the ball carrier.
Would a Ben Simmons plus others to the Blazers for Damian Lillard make sense? Yeah. I guess it would. The others would have to be pretty good, but I could see that. OMG, K Disney just got traded here too. Imagine Loader going to the Knicks. That would be kind of crazy, but the only thing is the Knicks would have to trade probably R.J. Barrett, Quickly, Toppin, both picks this year, bunch of future picks. So I guess Damian Lillard and Julius Randle will be fun. But, I mean, if you have Reggie Bullock starting as well, then, ugh. Orlando ties it at 3. How much time left in the half? Like 3 or 4 minutes? Oh, 5:45. That's a lot of time left. Caps starting with strong field position at the 37. That looks like a face mask, definitely. Reggie Bullock would not. He would be like maybe the 6. What happened to Dennis Smith Jr.? Dennis Smith is not very good. That's what it is. Oh, Dennis Smith. Huh. What have we done? So far you guys have looked fine. Nothing too wild up to this point, but your defense has been pretty good. The offense has been all right. Malcolm Tremblay is playing pretty well. I guess there's that. Todd Gurley has not done a whole lot, though. He had one kind of nice run at the beginning of the game, and then he hasn't really shown up since. Nick is in Cancun now, indeed. That's quite the adjustment, going from the snow to going to Mexico. Oh, there's a nice run for Todd. You hate the Stepien rule. Why? Because it screwed the Cavs? Well, no, it's because of the Cavs, because they screwed themselves. I see why it's there, but I feel like it shouldn't be. The teams should be. I mean, these are qualified GMs. They should be smart enough not to be stupid with their draft picks. But I guess I see why it's there. 2-minute warning. Not a lot of points so far. Tied at 3. Wentz under pressure. Tough throw. That is not a touchdown, but they do get it to 1. It's Sterling Shepard. And the first... Oh, he's not in. I thought he was in. Yeah, he looked... At real time, it looked like Stephon Diggs was in. We got to see that again, but I think he was in. That's close. 1... 2. That is really close. I think they're going to reverse that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. It is not reversed. The play stands. It looked like the tip of his second foot was touching out of bounds, so I see why they called that. That was really close. They get it on the very next play. Todd Gurley with the score. So it doesn't really matter. And the Caps are now up 10-3. His foot didn't... No, it looked like his foot did touch the ground, but I think like the tip of his toes were out of bounds. I think that was why, or at least that's what it looked like. D Ford is hurt. That's kind of significant. So Orlando is 1:29 and all 3 timeouts to move down the field. Who starts with the ball? I think the Caps start with the ball in the second half. So the Sentinels need points here somewhat badly. Second and 8. There's a nice play for, I believe, Slant Boy. Tua is 6 for 9. Nice.
A gain of 29 yards. And an Orlando first down.
So Orlando's already pretty close to field goal range for the most part. And they still have a minute, and they still have all 3 timeouts, so there's really no excuse for them not to score. Third and 6, big play, because they're not quite in field goal range yet. So they need to at least gain a few here. And this pass is intercepted! And this one looks like it might go for a house call. A pick 6 for the Columbus Caps. Is that Boyett? Is that Trent Boyett again? Every watch game, he gets an interception. Every single one. He is an absolute animal. And the Columbus Caps are now up by 14. What a play by Trent Boyett, who is quickly turning into arguably the best cornerback in the league. I'm ready to go that far. He's that good. I didn't even realize I knew he was fast, but I didn't realize he had 99 speed, but he looked fast on that play. For Hoop Central, Damian Lillard says it's not true he's demanding a trade. That does not surprise me. The sources who said he was, I've never heard of those people in my life. So, yeah. Do I know who Lewis King is? No. Oh dear. Did I just fall for a trap? I don't know how that could be a trap, though. First down. It's another interception for the Caps. Uh-oh. This is getting ugly. It's Chidobe Awuzie. What a guy. The GOAT. Oh, that Lewis King. Oh, the one who played at Oregon? Yes, I know who you're talking about. Okay. That one. I forgot. I didn't realize who you meant for a second. I know who you're talking about. Okay. I forgot he was a person, to be honest. Tua has been a fraud today, yes. Although, I mean, Trent Boyett and the GOAT, Chidobe Awuzie, are both quite good. But the Caps appear to be making this a 3-score game at halftime, assuming they at least put up a field goal. He said, the new Cincinnati Bengals. If I was them, just call the timeout and just kick the field goal. That's probably what I would do. There's no reason to try to get fancy. Now, with 16 seconds, I guess it makes sense. You still have time. Here at the 8. But you can't do something stupid, which Carson Wentz, he's prone to doing stuff like that. He probably should have just got rid of it, so the Caps will not be able to score before halftime. They're still up by 14, but they definitely had an opportunity there and wasted it. Good pass coverage. Does that exist? Well, unfortunately, you don't have corners like Trent Boyett and Chidobe Awuzie, so. But yeah, we've not seen much good pass coverage today. That's been a rarity. Dominant start here for the Caps. They are very close to winning their first playoff game in OFL 21. If Columbus wins, they will head to Carolina and play the Panthers. That would mean the Bulldogs would play Arizona. If the Sentinels make a miraculous comeback, they go to Arizona. Panthers play the Bulldogs. A grand total of 7. They haven't even tried to run the ball, which I get because Tua's been quite good this year, but he's not been quite good today. So I don't. It's not even like the last game where the Bulldogs were really struggling to run the ball, but Orlando just hasn't even tried. Nice play by Todd. He gets about 5.
Number 30, Todd Gurley, the ball carrier, brought down at the 30-yard line. A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
Ooh, I thought that was going to be intercepted, but instead of the pick, that's going to be a touchdown. A 70-yard score, and this game keeps getting worse for the Sentinels. Who is 85? Tajik Potts! What a guy! And folks, it is now indeed sim time. It is a 3-score game. That should have been a pick 6. Not only an interception, that should have been a pick 6. And the Sentinels would have been right back in the game. So the Caps are up by 21. They appear to be looking good. Watch Tua like dominate now. 10-yard gain for DeAndre Swift. Sack for DJ Reader. 3rd and 18, incomplete. They're in big trouble. That's back-to-back weeks in which we've watched the Caps, and they've dominated against playoff teams. 2nd and 38. Dear Lord. I think if the Caps keep playing like this and watched, they are a legit contender. If not for Arizona, they would be my pick, not even only to win the NFC, but maybe to win the whole thing. Sack for Montez Sweat, but on 3rd down, Malcolm Tremblay gains 25. Caps in the red zone, a score for Tremblay. That would be the type of play that happens against you. Yeah, that's kind of true. Okay, we'll go a little faster. This is done. Oh, the Sentinels are finally moving it. Fatty with the touchdown. It's now 21-10, or 31-10. I can't count. Sentinels force a punt. Okay, now they're doing some damage. I mean, it's too little too late. 4th and 1. Another touchdown for Fournette. It is a 2-score game, but we will keep simming. If Orlando somehow makes this close, we'll hop back in. If the Caps blow this, that would be so funny. They're not. That'd be really funny, though. They were up, what, 31-3? Oh, there's a touchdown. Someone just got hurt. It better not have been Tremblay, because I saw his face. I think Malcolm Tremblay just got hurt. That stinks, because he is fun. Yeah, I'll sim faster. This game's done. So Orlando put up 21 points in the 4th quarter to make this game not look like a blowout, but this game was a blowout from start to finish. The Caps with a dominant statement victory. They're headed to Carolina to play the Panthers, and the Bulldogs will be playing the Arizona Cardinals. 396. They had 13 rushing yards. Oh, my God. That's too funny. So they just didn't even try to run it, is what I take out of this. Carson Wentz with a really strong performance. 20 for 25, 283, and 2 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa did not look like an MVP candidate. Eric Ritchie is the one who's hurt. Okay, I'm happy it's not Tremblay, who was really good in this game. 16 carries, 81 yards. Why is he getting... Oh, Todd Gurley got hurt. So that's why Tremblay got double the amount of carries. Okay. Yeah, Orlando literally ran it 8 times, and they passed it 47 times. Oh, my goodness. They didn't even try to be predictable. Michael Thomas over 100 yards. DeAndre Swift at 100 yards. Malcolm Tremblay might have just won himself Offensive Player of the Week. 160 yards of scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. He was unbelievably good today. Two sacks for Cam Hayward and TJ Watt, and of course the interceptions by Chidobe Awuzie. And the pick 6 that Trent Boyett had that pretty much broke the game wide open. So we're going to sim a week, we're going to check injuries and stuff, and then that will pretty much end the stream. So a very interesting wild card weekend, or I guess, like, day, is in the books, because we did it within the span of, like, 2 days. So here we go. Cardinals play the Bulldogs, Caps play the Panthers, and, of course, Colts, Cougars, and Bengals, Jags. Those are all correct? Yeah. Those are all right. So I guess we'll probably... Oh, wait, no. I was planning on doing it all in one stream. So the plan is, I think, either Monday or Tuesday, probably Monday, we're going to get through the entire divisional round. That's 4 games in one stream. That's a lot. Let's see who won Players of the Week, and then we'll check injuries. Players of the Week, Deshaun Watson. Okay, I guess he kind of deserves it. Trent Boyett, Lamar Jackson, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. What do all those 4 players have in common? Their teams won. We'll check the injuries for the teams who are left. And I guess the Sentinels, because we're already on them. Bengals. Only 1, and it's not a big deal. Bulldogs. Nothing new. Caps. Nothing new. Cardinals. Obviously nothing new because they didn't play. Same can be said for the Colts. Cougars, none. And they always seem to be banged up. That's a big deal. Jacksonville, nothing new. Panthers, nothing new. So there's literally no key players who are hurt, which is really exciting. Because that means with all 8 of these teams at pretty much full strength, it's going to be the best team wins, which is going to be really exciting. So I hope everybody enjoyed part 2 of the Wild Card Playoffs. And we'll be back early next week, again, probably Monday, to do the entire divisional round. Peace out, people.